Welcome to another episode of Breaking Bank. All glory to the Son of God. And he came 7 times that we know of, right? Meher Baba, Muhammad, Buddha, Jesus Christ, Zoroaster, Krishna, Ram. All glory to the Son who I serve, right? Meher Baba. And this is a quote from him. Well, get out of the way, yeah? There we go. The divine beloved is always with you, in you, and around you. Know that you are not separate from him. Okay, the most important book written in English with no translation, of course, is God Speaks. And then, Infinite Intelligence and Discourses. So, and there are others. But if you want true wisdom, that's where it is. Truth. All right, so let's get on to this tundra. But the glory is to who I serve. Not me. I'm just a servant of God. Man of God, nothing more, no title, nothing more than that. All right, let's go through this. The tundra. We're back to the tundra. All right, welcome back, everyone. Okay, they hit my credit report. Look at this. What? Credit Karma. And look, I got a negative mark for the first time. They hit my, what are they? Wait a minute. They hit my credit report, see? And there they are. World Omni Financial, right? One late payment, 30 days past due. Liars, I paid them. They said I didn't pay them. I'm going to show you later. I paid them in full. So, all right, now let's get that court case, remember? I started the case, and anyway, this is who I sent it to, right? And I got it stamped, and we can look it up. There's a tracking number. See it? Okay. And here's my copy of the case. And it's got a case number now. There we go. I think you saw all this. Just in case you didn't, so you can look it up. All right. Next item here. Let me go through these. And guess what? I know that they got it because, look, I got something back from Navy County, right? And they wrote it to me. Look what they're doing. I got this. See, there's a case number and everything. And they got a request to transfer the case. See? And look, they got a, esquire, right? Soul, to the Satanists, right? Satanists, of course, they work for the British Accreditation Registry. I'll show you. But anyway, we got a response. So that means that they got the paperwork, that they got the case, and they responded. So what are they trying to do here? Anyway, let's see what's up there. Next page. All right. This is the, let's see more about this Winberg Ducky. Anyway. God, I can't even say the name. Oh, look. There's the numbers right there. Those are the bar numbers. That's how you get in touch with them if you want to. Attorney doing business as, who says, attorneys for World Omni Financial Corporation doing business as Southeast Toyota Finance. Okay, they didn't submit any paperwork to show they're doing business as a DBA. They didn't submit any of that. They just, we're that. Anyway, no proof. And they want to request to transfer the case to the civil division. Okay, right on. They want to transfer the case. In other words, this happens before to me. They want to, we don't want to do it the way he has stuff to do it. It's like, I bet you don't. It's so funny, y'all. Attorneys are scared to go to court. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So those are the attorneys that are afraid to go to court. You want to just see that. They want to transfer it to another venue. So that's from the PNP County, okay? And put that away. Excuse me for the video there. Okay. And this is what I got from them. There they are again. This is it. Alright. nonsense, right? Same old nonsense. Same old nonsense. Basically the same old nonsense. You with me? Okay. Okay. Same one out there. There we go. They say they're doing business out of it. They say that it's done. We haven't seen any proof of even that yet. They didn't even submit paperwork that they're doing business as. They didn't even have their DBA together. What else we got here? All right. They want to dismiss the case on some procedural bullshit. And they didn't even submit paperwork as to, see, I got them for $1,000 FDCPA violation. They don't even, they didn't say anything about, no, it's not true or anything. They're just like, those rules, procedures, blah, blah, blah. They're not right. Lawyers are afraid to go to court. That's so hilarious. Liars, Satanists. Okay, well I'm going to go through a little more paperwork here, and then I'm going to go back to the computer and show you a few things, so stay with me. Okay, see here's, look, from the person to World Omni Financial Corp. Okay, and there's a tracking routing, and here's a letter I sent them. Alright. Oh, a little more. I sent them this, right? I sent them validation and so on, right? But I also sent them a big pile of stuff like, hey, this is everything I sent to, your supposed, who you're doing business as over there. Oh. And I also was like, hey, 25 separate lawsuits, yeah. There we go. And I also paid them in full. I want to see, because remember, on the last video, see, they sent a copy of a note that they had. So I went ahead and sent them a copy of a postal order. And here's 2 copies. In fact, what I did was make enough copies, right? You see? And then I copied them a whole bunch. Oh, that's right. There's one big one. I sent them a whole bunch of them, right? I paid in full. Enough to pay them in full. I thought that was good. I want to get it paid off. I paid off the whole note. So, and I wrote it to them too. Hey, thanks for changing the standards, right? And saying that copies of an original is fine. I'm going to send you copies of an original right back. There you go. And so they got the same stuff. All right. Another thing for the attorneys that I know are watching this, because I'm emailing them, copy this. Hey, if you're a public servant, right, I need you to, give me this information. On their website, they make it so you can't attach a document. I would have sent it as an attachment, so they could fill it out prior to court and so on. But here's the information that you required if you're a public servant. Which maybe you're an attorney, right? And you're not a public servant. You could admit to that too. That would be fine. We could go that way if you want. And there's the authorities for why you have to answer these questions. So you can go look that up if you have any questions. All right, one more thing. Yeah, I put up some identification of my person last time. Here's a little bit about me as my MBA. I got it. Where I got it, right? Oh, one more piece of paper too. Here's a master's in accounting. So, okay. So, pieces of paper. All right. Now we're going to go on from pieces of paper to looking at this here. I'm sorry, not the best video, whatever. I get it. I'm sorry about that. But let's get this done. All right. Here's the attorneys, right? Here's their website. Here they are. And look, you gotta read about these guys. I mean, they are so evil. Look at what they admit to. Like right on their website. And you're not gonna freaking believe this. Creditors' rights. Bankers. Where does work for the bankers? Oh, you do? Okay, well. Okay. See, anyone that knows anything about banking and so on, they all know that every debt by every creditor in America, right, is collected illegally because you don't have the paperwork to prove that the debt is owed. So this is a conspiracy law firm, right? They're working on a conspiracy to deprive everyone of their rights. So, we'll see what's up with that. All right. I was going to write them on email, but no. I sent him something from the Vatican cult here. Bear with me here. All right. This is a little bit about our... This is funny. You gotta see this news article. This is the attorneys who are up to me. The judge bitch slaps them. So stay with me here. Anyway, so I thought I was doing a little bit of research on them. This is what I got from them. You can't send these attorneys, they don't give out their email on their website, so I'll send them an email on their contact us. See? So I'm following up. My name, bitch slap. But see, you got an article, about being bitch slap. Anyway, it's just a joke. I don't mean anything mean by it. We're just, having fun. I get you to read it. Thanks for having me be next in line to bitch slap you. I like the article so well stated on your rules, exceptions, dismissal, nonsense you need to be solely engaged in for all your cases instead of substance. That's the same thing the judge bitch slapped him for. He had no case or anything. It's just like, this rule. So stupid. Anyway, let's read on. LOL, just kidding, of course. Any press is good press, right? So yeah, I'm just teasing. I am here to spike your legal fees into the next level. Of course, you will pay dearly with liens, insurance claims, bond claims, complaints to your licensing boards, etc. if you continue to work with lying creditors. See, they're all creditors are liars. Satan is a liar. All that you will agree to via administrative process, which can be recorded against your persons and other entities' assets you control, such as your PLC. That's the type of entity they have for their pirating activities. Please check out my YouTube video series supporting this process of education you are involved in. I work for God, not Satan like you. I was educated by judges too, but I grew up and became a man. I now serve God and will strike you down publicly if you choose over and over and over and over. I will serve the glory of Jesus Christ, and I will strike down the unrighteous. You, to the glory of my master, Jesus Christ, who threw the bankers out, and now it is your turn. Prepare to feel God's wrath directed solely at you. There's a YouTube for them. Check that one out. That was a good one. Actually, I'm going to pull it up, I think, later, but there it is. Please subscribe to the series and let me know what you think of the one after this one that I am filming soon. But I thought you might like this one. I'm going to be sending you the other one to the press, etc. Not this one alone, so please subscribe and enjoy Minions of Satan. Anyway, like this is the one before this one that I'm filming, the Tundra 20, like that 40 plus minute one. That's it right there. So I'm letting them know, to go check it out. And there's a code. And let's do a send. Come on, man, let me my code is incorrect, damn it. Try it again. G2 and Q. Get it? To get it? Damn it. Oh, this is gonna suck. This is like a highlight. Alright, I don't know if they got it or not. I'll have to work on that one maybe again. Okay, but it's going out, all right? Okay, next thing. This is Southeast Toyota Finance, right? That's them. And they're supposed to be doing business as... No, wait. This is Omni... This is Omni Financial Corp, right? You see that? World domination. What is up with these freaks? Anyway, they're doing business as Toyota Southeast Toyota Finance. How the hell would you know that? It's such a bullshit lie. Anyway, okay, so here's the one I thought. Here's that Breaking Bank episode, the one before this. I copied that for them to take a look at. And hey, I just want to let them know what I found your bar card information, right? Anyway, it's in my case anyway, the bar card. So here's here's one of them. Oh, okay. And this was, I want to show you this bit too. I just want to say thank you to these lawyers too, because they're helping me, like you have to serve God and you have to strike down the unrighteous. And I just want to say thank you to the lawyers for letting me do that. Okay, so what do we got here? We got a tracking number. I want to show you something. All right. See, before when I was saying, oh, look, I sent this to, right, World Omni Financial Corp. Here's tracking number, okay? But I didn't lay down that thing and be like, okay, here's the receipt, right? Okay, but because I wanted to be like, well, what if you don't have a receipt? Well, you can go to USPS, right? .com, and you can do tracking, right? And you can track on the certified mail. And what we found out is, well, we got delivered. You know what I'm saying? Delivered. So that is that number. They got it. In other words, I got paid in full. I sent them copies of the notes, and they are paid in full. Why are they sending me this nonsense? So they should never put it on my credit report. That's illegal. Oh, hey, got the new website open. Excited about this. You're gonna like this. I mean, guaranteed. Okay, minimum. $50,000 in corporate credit in 12 months or less with no personal liability. That's sorry about that. That's what I'm involved in now, and making a lot of people happy, including myself. So check that out. I was recently, these lawyers are engaged in conspiracy. After I started this lawsuit, I had a lot of people following me on Facebook. Well, they memorialized that character I had on Facebook, right? The character was Jack McCagg. That was the previous character. And you can only memorialize someone if you actually submit paperwork that they died. So this was a death threat, directly against me. And it happened right after I did this lawsuit. So the banker lawyers, their conspiracy extends to, death threats. Anyway, so check me out on Facebook if you want. I have 0 friends. 0. And a friend requested anybody, nothing like that. Like, I'm just, Credit for business, yo. And here is the new businesses page. So check me out there if I can help you out. Okay, some about attorneys. Maybe the attorneys don't know what they're up to. I mean, I hear people say that all the time. This will ensure that they do know what's up. Okay, because I email them. They can find out all this stuff online. What is an attorney? It means to turn over property, turn over, assign, transfer. In other words, steal property and give it to your whoever's employing you, right? And if you go back further into the word, right, the Bar Association, here we are with the British Accreditation Registry, working for the Crown, right? In case you don't know that, it doesn't take much to look it up. You can figure out all of it. Anyway, if you want to get down, this one's funny here, I think, because it really is so true, right? The root for the term attorney originates in Sanskrit, and its meaning was to turn or to twist. To twist things. Who does that? Satan, right? So attorney really means you're a Satanist, to twist things, to lie. Oh no, I just accidentally closed one. Oh well. We'll have to miss something there. Anyway, so this is what I'm up to. Follow what the Bible says, right? Jesus cleanses the temple. This is in John 2:15, right? And it's actually in 2:14 in the Bible. Let's go up to 14. And he found in the temple those who were selling oxen and sheep and doves and the money changers seated at the table. See, they're not bankers. They call themselves bankers, saying they give in lands, but they don't give any loans. They're liars, right? They lie. They never give a loan. They just change money. So Jesus, and he made a scourge of cords and drove them out of the temple with the sheep and the oxen. They're like, they're worse than the animals. And he poured over the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. And to those who were selling doves, he said, take these things away. Stop making my father's house a place of business. Actually, it's my father's temple. See, drove them out of the temple. The temple is the body. Okay? Anyone who's putting debt on anyone, the temple, the body, on another human, right? Slavery, right? That's evil, and against God. So you attorneys, you bankers, you're against God. You're Satanists. Purely Satanists. Okay, now what do we do against Satanists, right? U.S. Code Section 241, right? Conspiracy against rights, They're the British are here stealing our property. They're turning it over to their employers, right? The Crown. And 242 is even better because it's really applicable, isn't it? Look at this, right? Anyway, by administrative process, they can agree that I can lien their property. Actually, in Arizona, they don't lien against property, they lien against the name. So their PLC and their individual persons, their person, the corporation, the enslaved corporation, I get is, they can agree to being liened, treble damages for my truck, and then we'll move on to this. So, here we go. This is, the Satanists of Facebook. They, the attorneys offed me there, right, as a death threat. You can see this is Zuckerberg. I'm not going to bore you with this, video, but this is the inside of his jacket, right? A 6-pointed star, a Satanist, 5 or 6-pointed star. You're a Satanist. Anyway, they work together with the bankers, the attorneys and the bankers, the mind control, right? Govern your mind, right? All working together, trying to put the fear of, the devil into me, which I'm with God, so how is that possible? It's not possible. It's a joke. You'll have nothing. So this is a video dedicated to you nobodies, the nothing nobodies, the devil and his hench bots. Okay, next. Okay, here's a really important book. Now let's get on with the education, right? Thomas Schaff, Schauf. He's a CPA. He wrote a great 3 books, actually. Here's his first one. See, but he's a shill, okay? I want you to know that. He's writing, what does it say? Don't let anybody see this book, right? And he says in his books, there's this thread of lies in it, because he's got a CPA. I'm an accountant, but I don't have a CPA because I didn't get that license that makes it so I can't help people like these attorneys did and CPAs did. Anyway, so the thread in his books, just so you know, is we can't take anybody to court. There's no remedy but voting. I mean, okay, I edited out everything I wanted to say there. Voting. There's no proof votes have ever been counted, so voting is for idiots. So, but let's, his third book. There's a 2-volume set. His third book, this one right here, Thomas Schaff, right? He's the author. The American Voters versus the Banking System. Anyway, when you do get to court, and I'm going to court, right? There are 600 exactly pre-written questions, right, for the lawyers and the auditors and the bankers on the other side of that. They're so exacting. Like you want people are worried. Oh, when I get to court, what do I say? Well, you have 600 questions for them, none of which they can answer legally. See, they have to pay off they pay off. They're all Freemasons. They're all Satanists, Freemasons, Catholics. Same thing. Uh, so they all work together. They're under the purview of the devil. Okay, let's see. Exhaustion administrative remedies. See, what I'm saying, administrative remedies, you see, I'm not going to show you everything about administrative remedies. I don't want to know everything that's coming. Obviously, this is about how to discharge a debt. It's a method, you know what I'm saying? It's, got some good points in here. I just want to, show that we could sort of go through because okay, I'm back here. I got more headphones. My headphones died. Okay, so why don't you look at this website? Oh, here we are. Here. Come on now, focus, you. There it is. Okay. Understand contract law and you went. Anyway, this is a good piece actually about how to get the agreement of the claim and so on, and get it removed. It's great, and how to do some things in here. It's really good about how to remove a debt. But see, here's the thing: you can actually do this in the lien process too, if you think about it. So, and what does that mean? It means, well, so you go through this remedy here and it creates a judgment, and then that judgment, you just go down to the recording office in any county, Pima County in this case, right? Or any county online, right? And I'd probably do it in Tempe, actually, whatever county that is, because that's where the attorneys are. Anyway, you go down there and you put it against the attorney's name, the claim, do the rest of this process and so on. And yeah, they can't get money lent on it, and you can see in some of this other stuff here, how you get paid too, which will be really fascinating to go through. I'm looking forward to this whole education process. I'm learning so much, and I think other people are too. So this was in the news lately, speaking of Satanists, right? Going on in Phoenix, and see, these attorneys are at Tempe, right? See, but here's the thing, right? They're coming from, there's a big satanic temple in Tempe, and yeah. And they came down came up from Tucson too. So, it's kind of me versus the Satanists. And let me go through my notes now and make sure I haven't missed anything, all right? Let's go back to the front here. And let's just see more about who I'm up against here. A Little Liar Law Firm. Yeah, don't forget to write them about anything you want to. Have any questions on the case, whatever, right? Okay, so settlement. This is what I'm agreed to, y'all. If I get the title to the truck, right, then mailed to me, then I'll take down this video series. In fact, I won't email the video to, all the kind of like national newspapers and Arizona newspapers, of course, North Carolina newspapers, because that's where I got the truck. And, online, oh my God, there's just so many different places to send it. Anyway, I look forward to really sharing this with a lot of people and educating them. But anyway, as part of the settlement, I'd be happy to take down these videos about you and, your collusion with the devil and bankers and working against God. I could take that down as part of the settlement. I'd be happy to once I get the title. And you can write up that settlement agreement. You know where to mail it to me. I'd appreciate it if I got it within 14 days of, today, please. Okay. And it's the 9th of February. So I'd appreciate it if you get it to me within 14 days because, I got to get the word out. You know what I mean? In fact, let's make it, email me. You sent it within 7 days, okay? Of today, because I got to start getting the word out about what you're up to. I got to, make you famous. You like to be that whole bitch slapping thing. So, okay. So the deal is, I got, and I just want to say, like I'm in Arizona now, right? But I'll be traveling, of course, and as I travel, because I'm homeless, I don't take any income to my person, and I don't have like a permanent address, but I'll get one in the jurisdiction I'm in, so they can file in, the next jurisdiction as I travel, but we're doing it here now, and anyway, I look forward to the other venues, and I have 4 picked out. I don't want to give them to you at a time, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, separate states, because they have a travel plan. Anyway, this is going to be fun. I'm going to learn so much, and so is everyone else. I'm actually not really in a hurry to get rid of this, because I have the truck in a nice, safe place, and I'm worried about that at all. I already paid him in full. So it's more like how I can educate everyone in this process. It's remember the process: death by paper cut, right? Bleed them out through their lawyer fees, right? See, I got this stuff in the mail. That means that World Omni, lying creditor, evil people, they must have paid this crew right here 5 to 10 grand, or else they wouldn't have picked up this case. No way, no how, right? Satan the liar, he got to get paid. So, we're going to bleed him out. All creditors bleed him out through the lawyer fees, right? Never take any income to your person. Always file indigent, right? And make it nice and legal. That's legal. So we follow their rules of the monopoly game, and we take all their assets, right? Legally. And have no, make sure you have no assets, in your person's name, right? Or in any, entity that's under the state jurisdiction, so they can't get any blood from a stone, and they're out there in the public, right? Public. PLC. I love it, right? All their assets are out there in the public. And, every good accountant got to watch his bookkeeping, just asking to make sure that I owe a bill. Now, all I did was request, that they validate the debt. And what do I get instead? I get rules. Hey, these rules, this rules. No, I didn't get anything from these lawyers about, sorry, you can come pick up that paperwork and look at it to prove the debt is owed. No, you never get that from the bankers. You get these Satanists, right? British Satanists That's who you hear from. Okay, so let's get on to the next thing. Um, so of course, all it says Esquire. Let's just look at these. I mean, attorneys. You gotta see these dudes because they say right here, right? Here we go. There's the top guy, right? I've been at this since 1980. I've been doing evil since then. This guy, right? He says Esquire right there, right? I'm an attorney, right? He took a royal title of Esquire. He's not ashamed about it at all. Anyway, if you take his satanic, royal title from the Satanists, right? That means you're a Satanist. So if you look further into this dude, he says, he's Jesuit trained. I was Jesuit trained too. Of course, they're Satanists, right? But you got to serve God in the end. You can't be like, well, I didn't know. Well, you can read, dude. You can look this up. If I can look it up, you can look it up. But you decided to work for Satan. So, that's your decision. Okay, so I'm always about, accessing the assets. Nobody listens unless you access their assets, period. Of course, but they're criminal charges, though. I mean, let's just, I'm not even going to get into that yet. But then there are partner assets to go after. I mean, see, I did autograph, whatever I was given to autograph, and I paid in full for this thing. And now they say by a copy that something is still owed. So they apparently don't really understand anything about law, but I think I'm going to help educate them about law. These attorneys don't know anything about law. They just know things about stealing property. So, see, they stole a lot of property over the years. I'm sure they probably stole since '88 millions of dollars, people's assets. So, maybe hundreds of millions. Hell, maybe even billions, And so God didn't give those assets to him. Satan took them. So those assets have to be returned to the people of God. So I have to take them, these assets through these two individuals of the PLC. And they're going to agree, administratively, because they're alleging that I'm in contract with them already. So we'll just amend the contract. No problem. Okay, and please, be reminded, right? I didn't put that public servant questionnaire just to show you. I expect to get that filled out and returned to me. Remedy isn't just at court. Now you're representing them, so I have to have remedy against you. I have to know everything about you. If you're a public servant, great. Give me the information. If you're not a public servant, that means you're not entitled to serve the public. So please identify yourself so that they can properly lien you. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to the bond and insurance information. Believe me, put you out of business real quick. Won't even take hardly any amount of time. This will be so quick. Anyway, it showed you. Oh, let's go back here. This is interesting. I'm gonna just, we're back to this think about, how to. Yeah. Okay. But say you get somebody who purchases some of these, assets, like these judgments. And so this is going to be a really fun time to go through here and see how you take, because let's just say people have to defend their homes and trying to save their homes, but very few people know much about taking lawyers' homes from them, So we're going to get into all that if this continues. And, given the different venues and different jurisdictions, it could be a lot of lawyers' assets. So however long they want to go on. But, I want to get the lawyers' assets first, because after it's done, right, if I don't get a settlement and I get a bunch of lawyers' assets, well, then I'm going to go after the owners. I'm going to go after the attorneys first. Why? Because I'm an accountant, and I know they have assets. I don't keep assets to my person, so I can only take their assets. They can't take assets from me. I can only take them. They can't take from me. So that's why I know I'm going to be taking them. Okay, that'll be fun. So we'll learn about how to, go through the whole thing about like this judgment buyback and so on, and how to, how to buy, not just, get the lawyer's assets, but then get cash for them. You know what I mean? For the lawyer's assets, like their home. You know, how to get the cash for it too. That's important. Uh, so I'm just going through my notes here. I want to make sure I didn't skip anything. Okay, I guess that's everything. I'm sorry I had a few moments in there of a little bit of time wasting, so I apologize. I just wanted to get to everything, cover everything. Um, all glory to my master who I serve, Meher Baba, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Buddha, Zoroaster, Krishna, Ram. All glory to the Son who brings us to the Creator, right? I'm aligned with you. And you said expose wickedness and extend the right hand of your righteousness. And these soul-souled Satanists will learn to bow and serve the Master. All glory to God. Okay. Anyway, I look forward to hearing from you. One more thing. How could I forget that? Hey, still the same deal. If anyone wants any of the paperwork on how to do this, the process, written instructions and all that, right? Excuse me. I'm sorry. Because I'm not about the money, right? I'm about education and setting people free. I'm the opposite of these lawyers. All right, I'm an accountant. I serve God. So if you would like, the documents, just save yourself time instead of like typing from this, jittery email. Just send me any donation, PayPal to an email, Jack, J-A-C-K, McCaig, M-C-C-A-I-G, @gmail.com. And then once I get that, send me a follow-up email like, hey, I sent you a PayPal. Can you email those docs to this email, please? So that's 2 emails. Send me 2, okay? And hey, lawyers, you want to learn something? Seriously, email me. I don't care. You could serve God. You can switch anytime. Think about it. Even Anton LaVey, right? Church of Satan, right? Who used, he's one of you. Even he on his deathbed, right? He was like in the last words he said, he's something like he was confused or something like. Anyway, it didn't work out the way he thought. You all might want to switch teams, okay? We're open anytime. Our gates are always open. There's no. All you have to do, right, is serve God. That's all you have to do, right? And he has rules like it's serving like your brothers and sisters. It's like you love God. You don't love, like love isn't the power now. No, God's the power, creator, and it came through the Son. The only way is through the Son, Jesus Christ. So if you don't want to switch over, we're here for you anytime. All right. You don't have to serve Satan. All right. You could choose to serve God, the creator. You don't have to steal people's homes. Okay. Everyone that went into, a bank, creditors, you don't, I know you read my paperwork. I know you read what I sent. So you're choosing on purpose for money, right, to work against God, to enslave people. And you can't just say it's just my job. There are other jobs. See my job? My job is the other job, right? I serve my brothers and sisters. I serve God. I serve the Son of God. So you can't just say it's a job, it's money. No, well, that's Satan. I serve Satan because, Satan pays better. That's not going to work after. That's not going to work after you die, dude. It's just going to be, the burning flames for you. Here's your information. Take it or don't take it. It's up to you. But I'm coming for you under, the authority of the Son, right? Meher Baba, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Zoroaster, Buddha, Krishna, Ram. All right, many blessings to you out there, and courage. Okay, let's make fun of Satan and his minions. Let's make them the joke that they are, evil little minions. Money, money, money. Okay, let's have some fun with this. All right, love you all. Jai Baba.